Oh, so here's the latest from Frank Turek just this morning. He reposted this tweet from a fellow named Josh McPherson, who in turn had retweeted, I don't know, I guess you would call this a meme from some other account. And this is the meme. Don't homeschool your kids. They'll be weird. 1995. Kids in public school identifying as barn animals. 2023. So Turek reposted that without commentary, which I think it is reasonable to infer he's promoting this idea. The idea that kids in public schools widely are identifying as barn animals. This idea has been around for more than a decade, and it's patently false. This is disinformation and misinformation that circulates among far right homeschoolers, far right religious groups, in an attempt, it would appear, to discredit public institutions like public education. Back in 2022, Reuters did a fact check of this. No evidence that US school children are self identifying as animals and disrupting classrooms. And they, in particular, respond to a Matt Walsh documentary called What is a Woman, where he promotes this discredited idea. So, I mean, I'm not going to read through this article. I would, look it up if you want to, but there's a lot of content here that goes piece by piece through this and discrediting these really crazy claims. So, here's an interesting question. Why do fundamentalists like Frank Turek promote misinformation and disinformation? Now, let me just, for those of you who don't know, clarify the difference between mis and disinformation. Misinformation is bad information, it's false. Disinformation is bad information that is spread with intent to deceive. I ultimately can't get into Frank Turek's mind. I don't know to what degree he is spreading misinformation, just bad information, and to what degree he's spreading false information with the intent to deceive. But it is clearly bad information he is spreading, and it is information which is seeking to discredit public institutions of public education. And why do fundamentalists like Turek do this? I could go on all day about that, but I think there are probably two main reasons they do it. The first is that they have a very binary worldview, a fundamentalist worldview, in which there's a distinction between insiders and outsiders. Insiders are part of the belief community and are people of light, truth, and goodness. Outsiders are beyond your belief community and are bad, dark, evil. And with that in mind, to mix with bad, dark, and evil is in danger always of corrupting the insiders from the in group. And so they want to separate from the culture. They want to separate from public institutions like public education and minimize interaction with them in order to maintain the purity of the in group. And functionally, of course, also to maintain indoctrination within the in group. The second factor, I think, is really in some respects a more nefarious factor that is specific to apologetics, is this that fundamentalist apologetics depends on maintaining this binary, the paranoia and the ignorance that comes from the binary, because that provides a market for them to sell their wares. The more that people in a fundamentalist sectarian religious community are fearful of public education and believing disinformation about it, for example, the more it is a threat to them. And the more that they need then apologetic resources in order to equip themselves and their children in order to be protected against all the dangers of the world around them, including public education, where kids are eating out of food troughs in the gymnasium or whatever. So, for that reason, the more that you can promote misinformation, ignorance, paranoia, indoctrination within the community, the more you get people to want to go to your conferences, to buy your books, to watch your YouTube channel, to read your tweets. And I think that's what's going on here. And I don't think, and I'm not suggesting that necessarily Turk is like scheming to maintain his audience here in terms of disinformation. It could be simply that he himself is indoctrinated and he is engaged in this positive feedback loop of maintaining the indoctrination of his audience inadvertently, which then feeds his cross-examined ministry by spreading false information like this. I don't know. Bottom line, it's obviously false, it's obviously harmful, and it's worth repeating once again that Christian evangelical apologists, fundamentalist apologists, have long professed as their key brand to be defenders of truth. And time again, it seems that what they present and defend and perpetuate is, in fact, falsehood, indoctrination, embellishment, and just bad information, which could not be further from the professed defense of the truth.